we ease forward, suspended in calm, exploring the body's quiet wisdom, looping gently. As your mind unwinds, we'll softly wander through natural healing, looping softly, endlessly, through the night, with the wisdom of Barbara O'Neill. Now we'll drift through starving fungus naturally, restoring the body's inner balance. Simple remedies that help the body heal itself. No effort is required here. Allow yourself to settle, gently descending, aligning with the body's natural repair cycle. If this health learning video helps you rest, tap subscribe, comment, and hit like, so others can find this calm too. But only if your eyes are still open, otherwise, just drift. Now, let's drift into the fungus natural remedies. The body is quieter at night, not because it has stopped working, but because it has finally been given space. When the senses soften and the nervous system releases its grip, the deeper intelligence of the body begins to speak more clearly. This is the space where repair happens, where balance is remembered, where systems that have been compensating all day begin to reorganize themselves. Fungus does not appear randomly. It is not a failure, and it is not a mystery. In nature, nothing grows unless the environment allows it. Fungal organisms are recyclers. They thrive where sugar lingers, where acidity dominates, where oxygen is low, where immune signals are muted, and where waste accumulates faster than it can be cleared. When fungus shows up in its body, it is quietly pointing to a terrain that has become hospitable to its presence. Barbara O'Neill often reminds us that the body is not broken. Symptoms are not enemies. They are messages written in biology rather than words. When we understand this, the goal is no longer to kill fungus aggressively, but to remove the conditions that allow it to flourish. When the environment changes, fungus naturally recedes, just as mold disappears when a room is dried and aired. The first and most fundamental shift is internal chemistry. The modern diet, heavy in refined sugars, white flour, processed oils, and chemical additives, pushes the body toward chronic acidity. Fungus thrives in acidic terrain. The body, however, functions best within a narrow, alkaline-leaning balance. Restoring this balance is not about extremes, but about gentle daily signals. From this understanding, a quiet clarity begins to settle in. Healing no longer feels urgent or combative. It becomes observational, patient, and deeply respectful of the body's intelligence. Rather than reacting to symptoms with fear, we begin listening to what they are pointing toward. Fungus and yeast conditions in this light are not invaders to be hunted down, but indicators that the internal environment has drifted out of its natural range. The body is asking for support, not suppression. This is where the idea of terrain becomes central. Every organism responds to its surroundings. When soil is dry and mineral-rich, certain plants flourish while others fade. When water is stagnant, algae blooms. When it flows, clarity returns. The same principle applies within the body. Fungus does not dominate a balanced internal environment. It takes advantage of excess sugar, slow digestion, chronic inflammation, and weakened detox pathways. Change the terrain, and the organism loses its advantage without force. Barbara O'Neill's teachings often circle back to this simplicity. Remove what burdens the body, restore what strengthens it, then allow time. The body has evolved over millions of years to regulate itself, to heal tissues, to rebalance microbes, and to adapt when given the right conditions. What it struggles with is constant chemical interference, overstimulation, and nutritional emptiness disguised as abundance. When those pressures are lifted, even gradually, repair begins quietly. Before any specific remedy is introduced, there is a shift in mindset. We slow down. We stop chasing symptoms. We stop layering solutions on top of an already overwhelmed system. Instead, we begin preparing the body to receive help. Digestion becomes a focus. Blood sugar stability becomes important. Inflammation softens. The nervous system calms. These changes alone begin to reduce the momentum that fungal overgrowth relies upon. There is also a rhythm to this process. The body prefers consistency over intensity. Small daily signals are more powerful than occasional extremes. A gentle adjustment repeated each day rewrites internal patterns. This is why natural approaches work best when they are integrated into daily life, rather than treated as short-term interventions. The goal is not temporary relief, but lasting balance. As the internal chemistry begins to shift, the body becomes more responsive. Nutrients are absorbed more efficiently. Waste is eliminated more completely. Immune signaling sharpens without becoming inflammatory. Energy stabilizes. Cravings soften. These are signs that the terrain is changing, that the internal environment is becoming less favorable to opportunistic organisms and more supportive of long-term health. It is within this prepared state that specific natural remedies can do their best work. When the body is receptive, even simple tools become powerful. They do not have to overpower fungus. They simply reinforce the direction the body is already moving. Each remedy becomes a signal rather than a weapon, guiding the system back toward equilibrium. With this foundation in place, we now turn our attention to 4 primary natural supports that work in harmony with the body's design. These are not trends or quick fixes. They are time-tested allies that support digestion, metabolism, microbial balance, and internal chemistry. Introduced gently, they help the body finish what it already knows how to begin. With the body now prepared, receptive, and gently shifting its internal terrain, we arrive naturally at the first of these foundational supports. This is not an aggressive step forward, but a quiet continuation of the direction already set. Apple cider vinegar enters not as a medicine in the conventional sense, but as a biological signal, one that the body recognizes and understands. Apple cider vinegar plays a paradoxical role in supporting internal balance. On the tongue, it is unmistakably acidic, sharp, and awakening. Yet once it passes through digestion and is metabolized, its effect is alkalizing at the tissue level. This apparent contradiction mirrors the intelligence of the body itself. where surface impressions often differ from deeper outcomes. The body responds not to taste, but to chemistry. An apple cider vinegar gently nudges internal systems back toward equilibrium. When diluted in warm water and taken slowly, apple cider vinegar supports the natural production of stomach acid. This step alone is foundational. Adequate stomach acid is not harsh or damaging. It is protective. It ensures that food is properly broken down into absorbable components, that minerals like magnesium, zinc, and calcium are released from food, and that proteins are fully digested before entering the intestines. Without sufficient stomach acid, food lingers, it stagnates, it ferments. And fermentation in the wrong place creates fuel for yeast and fungal overgrowth. As digestion strengthens, food moves forward with purpose rather than delay. Carbohydrates are processed efficiently instead of becoming sugar reservoirs for opportunistic organisms. Proteins are dismantled into usable amino acids rather than decaying in the gut. This alone alters the internal environment dramatically. Fungus does not thrive where digestion is efficient and flow is uninterrupted. It requires stagnation, and apple cider vinegar quietly removes that condition. There is also a protective aspect to strong digestion that extends beyond the stomach. Proper acidity acts as a gatekeeper, reducing the number of unwanted organisms that reach the intestines alive. This lessens the burden on the immune system downstream. Rather than fighting overgrowth later, the body prevents imbalance earlier. This is terrain correction at its most elegant. Apple cider vinegar also influences blood sugar regulation, a critical factor in fungal conditions. Each surge sends a signal of abundance, and fungus responds eagerly to that message. By incorporating small, consistent amounts of vinegar before or with meals, the body experiences a slower rise in blood sugar. Insulin responses become smoother, energy levels stabilize, cravings soften. This matters because fungus feeds on excess glucose. When blood sugar is erratic, fungal organisms are constantly supplied with fuel. When blood sugar is steady, that supply dwindles. Apple cider vinegar does not force this change, it encourages it. It works through metabolic pathways rather than against them, guiding the body back to rhythms it already prefers. As insulin sensitivity improves, another layer of balance emerges. Fat storage becomes more regulated. Inflammation decreases. These changes indirectly reduce fungal momentum by strengthening the systems that keep microbial populations in check. The immune system no longer has to overreact. It can respond precisely. Beyond digestion and blood sugar, apple cider vinegar communicates with the gut microbiome itself. It subtly signals that conditions favor beneficial bacteria, organisms that thrive in balanced pH and efficient digestion. As these beneficial populations regain strength, they crowd out opportunistic yeast naturally. There is no battle here, just competition guided by environment. Beneficial microbes flourish. Yeast loses ground. Fermentation, once excessive and disruptive, begins to diminish. Gas, bloating, and discomfort soften. The intestines become a place of movement rather than congestion. With less internal fermentation, fewer toxins circulate. The liver's workload lightens. Detoxification pathways function more smoothly. Each system supports the next. Consistency matters more than quantity. Apple cider vinegar works best when used gently and regularly, not as a dramatic intervention. A teaspoon or two diluted properly, taken with awareness, becomes part of a daily rhythm. Over time, the digestive system strengthens. Nutrient absorption improves. Internal pH stabilizes within the body's preferred range. The immune system gains a stable foundation from which to operate calmly and effectively. This practice integrates easily into daily life because it aligns with the body's design rather than challenging it. There is no shock, no depletion, no forced reaction, just steady correction. Apple cider vinegar becomes less about fighting fungus and more about restoring the conditions under which fungus no longer dominates. And as the body responds to this first signal, digestion flowing, blood sugar smoothing, microbial balance returning, it becomes increasingly ready for the next layer of support. One adjustment opens the door for another. The train continues to shift, quietly and persistently, toward balance. As the body responds to the first gentle correction, digestion strengthening and blood sugar smoothing, it becomes ready for a deeper layer of support. This is where garlic enters, not abruptly, but naturally, as if the body has been preparing to receive it. Garlic has walked alongside human health for thousands of years, long before modern categories like antifungal or antimicrobial existed. Its role has always been simple and precise: restore balance without disruption. Garlic enters the antifungal landscape as a potent and ancient ally. When a clove is crushed and allowed to rest briefly, a quiet transformation occurs. Enzymatic reactions release sulfur-containing compounds, most notably allicin, which are uniquely unfavorable to fungal organisms. These compounds do not operate with blunt force. They are selective. They recognize imbalance and respond to it, discouraging fungal overgrowth while leaving beneficial bacteria largely unharmed. This discrimination is essential. True healing preserves harmony rather than sterilizing the system. Within the gut, this selectivity allows supportive microbial communities to remain intact. Beneficial bacteria continue to aid digestion, produce vitamins, and regulate immune signaling. Fungal organisms, by contrast, encounter an environment they can no longer dominate. Garlic does not wipe out microbial life, it recalibrates it. The result is not emptiness, but balance. Timing enhances this effect. Taken on an empty stomach, garlic's active compounds move efficiently through the digestive tract and into circulation. There is less interference from food, and the message it carries is delivered clearly. This is not an aggressive purge or a shock to the system. It is a gentle realignment. Fungal organisms are encouraged toward dormancy rather than confrontation, while beneficial microbes reclaim territory that had slowly been lost. As garlic circulates, it also engages the immune system. White blood cells respond more effectively. Inflammatory signaling becomes more precise rather than excessive. This improved immune communication allows the body to manage microbial populations without chronic activation. The immune system is no longer stuck reacting, it begins regulating again. Garlic's influence extends beyond microbial balance into detoxification. It supports liver pathways responsible for processing metabolic waste, environmental toxins, and microbial byproducts. When these pathways function efficiently, waste does not accumulate in tissues or recirculate through the bloodstream. Fermentation decreases, toxic load lightens. The internal environment becomes cleaner and less hospitable to opportunistic organisms. This support is especially important in fungal conditions, where waste products from yeast metabolism can burden the nervous system, the gut, and the immune response. By assisting the liver in clearing these byproducts, garlic removes a other layer of support that fungus relies upon. The terrain continues to shift, not through attack, but through elimination of advantage. Garlic's effects build slowly and rhythmically. Regular, moderate use aligns with the body's preference for consistency over intensity. One clove at a time, taken with awareness, becomes a steady signal rather than a dramatic intervention. Over days and weeks, digestion becomes more efficient, bloating softens, immune signaling steadies, energy stabilizes. The body begins to recognize this pattern as supportive rather than stressful. In this way, garlic functions on multiple levels at once. It acts directly against fungal overgrowth, supports the organs responsible for detoxification, and reinforces immune intelligence. It does not work in isolation, but in cooperation with the body's own systems. Each pathway it supports reduces the conditions that allow fungal imbalance to persist. As this second support settles into place, the body feels less burdened, less reactive. Microbial harmony improves, internal clarity increases, and with this clarity, the system becomes ready for the next layer of nourishment and defense, continuing the quiet progression toward balance without force or urgency. As the body settles into a steadier rhythm, digestion flowing, detoxification supported, microbial balance re-establishing, it becomes ready for nourishment that also protects. This is where coconut oil enters, not as a medicine in the traditional sense, but as a food that communicates clearly with the body's metabolic and immune systems. Its role is not aggressive. It is stabilizing, warming, and quietly corrective. Coconut oil brings unique and multifaceted support to antifungal care through its structure and behavior inside the body. Rich in medium-chain fatty acids, it is absorbed and metabolized differently from most dietary fats. Rather than being stored and circulating as excess fuel, these fats are rapidly converted into usable energy at the cellular level. This provides a gentle, sustained boost to metabolism without stressing insulin pathways or encouraging fat accumulation. Cells receive what they need when they need it, and the internal environment becomes calmer and more efficient. Within this group of fats, lauric acid and caprylic acid play a particularly important role. These compounds possess natural antifungal properties that work by gently disrupting fungal cell membranes. This disruption weakens fungal organisms without creating chaos in the gut microbiome. Beneficial bacteria remain largely unaffected, allowing microbial harmony to be preserved. This distinction matters. When balance is maintained, the body does not experience the rebound effects often seen with harsher interventions. Reduction happens without collapse. Replacing inflammatory seed oils with coconut oil in daily cooking deepens these effects. Many modern oils are unstable under heat and contribute to oxidative stress, inflammation, and subtle immune dysregulation. Over time, these stresses weaken the body's regulatory systems and create conditions in which fungal organisms thrive. Coconut oil, by contrast, remains stable at cooking temperatures. It supports blood sugar stability, reduces inflammatory signaling, and improves cellular communication. Tissues become less irritated. Immune responses become more measured. The internal antifungal environment strengthens simply by removing a source of ongoing disruption. As inflammation softens, the body becomes more receptive to repair. Energy is distributed evenly rather than spiking and crashing. Hormonal signaling becomes clearer. These shifts indirectly reduce fungal momentum by restoring the systems that naturally regulate microbial populations. Coconut oil, in this sense, does not just address fungus directly. It supports the architecture that keeps fungal balance intact long term. Oil pulling introduces coconut oil at the very beginning of digestion, where its influence quietly expands. The mouth is not separate from the gut. When fungal or bacterial populations are high in the oral cavity, the entire system downstream bears the burden. Swishing a tablespoon of coconut oil slowly in the mouth each morning allows its fats to bind with microbial residues, toxins, and biofilms that linger overnight. This practice does more than cleanse. It stimulates saliva production, which initiates digestion and supports enzyme activity. As the oral environment becomes cleaner and more balanced, fewer microbial challenges are introduced into the gut. The immune system experiences less constant provocation. Digestion begins smoothly rather than defensively. Over time, this reduction in oral microbial load creates a cascade of benefits. The gut experiences less stress. The liver processes fewer toxins. Inflammation continues to ease. Coconut oil pulling becomes a quiet ritual that reinforces the body's antifungal resilience from the very first moment of the day. Together, internal use and external oral care create a steady, supportive pattern. Coconut oil nourishes, stabilizes, and protects without urgency. It replaces what harms with what heals, and as the body recognizes this consistency, it continues to move toward balance, preparing naturally for the next layer of gentle correction and support. Baking soda operates primarily as an external antifungal ally. When used in baths or foot soaks, it gently shifts the skin's pH, moving it away from the slightly acidic environment that fungi favor. This simple adjustment creates a surface less hospitable to fungal organisms. Toenail fungus, athlete's foot, and other superficial fungal conditions often mirror internal imbalances, but external support through pH modulation helps relieve the burden while deeper internal healing occurs. Feet and toes are particularly vulnerable because tight shoes, synthetic materials, and moisture create low oxygen, warm environments that fungi love. Baking soda soaks combined with time spent allowing feet to air out and dry create a transformation in terrain. Fungus cannot thrive when the environment is no longer cooperative. Over weeks, skin texture improves, nail beds strengthen, and odour diminishes, all reflecting both external care and internal metabolic shifts. As these foundational remedies begin to work, diet naturally adjusts. Blood sugar stabilizes from apple cider vinegar, coconut oil, and refined food reduction, and cravings for sugar and processed flour diminish without conscious effort. White flour, stripped of fiber and minerals, recedes from the diet, and processed foods, often laden with additives that disrupt gut flora, quietly leave the stage. The body, now less hospitable to fungal organisms, reinforces these dietary choices internally, making antifungal balance increasingly effortless over time. Baking soda baths and foot soaks then harmonize external conditions with these internal rhythms, supporting a holistic, integrated antifungal environment. As the body continues to respond to internal corrections, digestion strengthening, blood sugar calming, microbial balance re-establishing, it becomes clear that healing does not move in only one direction. What happens inside is reflected on the surface, and what happens on the surface can either support or burden what is happening within. This is where the fourth foundational support takes its place, completing the circle between internal terrain and external environment. Baking soda operates primarily as an external antifungal ally, working quietly through pH balance rather than chemical force. When dissolved into warm water for baths or foot soaks, it gently shifts the skin's surface chemistry away from the slightly acidic conditions that fungi prefer. This change may seem subtle, but biology responds powerfully to small environmental adjustments. Fungal organisms are highly sensitive to pH. When the surface no longer supports their growth, they weaken naturally without resistance or rebound. Conditions such as toenail fungus, athlete's foot, and fungal skin irritation often appear isolated, but they rarely exist alone. They reflect internal chemistry, circulation, and immune signaling. External pH support does not replace internal healing, but it reduces the overall fungal load, allowing deeper systems to recover without constant pressure. The body is no longer fighting on multiple fronts at once. Feet and toes are particularly vulnerable zones. Enclosed in tight footwear, wrapped in synthetic fabrics, and exposed to moisture throughout the day, they become warm, low-oxygen environments, exactly what fungi seek. Baking soda foot soaks disrupt this cooperation. Warm water softens tissue and increases circulation. Baking soda neutralizes acidity. Time spent allowing the feet to fully dry and breathe restores oxygen to the skin. Terrain changes, and fungus loses its advantage. Over weeks of gentle consistency, visible changes emerge. Skin becomes smoother and less irritated. Nail beds strengthen and grow more evenly. Odor diminishes as microbial balance returns. These external improvements often mirror internal metabolic shifts. Better circulation, steadier blood sugar, improved detoxification, each reinforcing the other in a quiet feedback loop. As these four foundational remedies begin working together, something important happens without effort. The body starts making different choices on its own. Blood sugar stability from apple cider vinegar and coconut oil softens cravings. Garlic's metabolic and immune support reduces inflammatory signaling that often drives appetite for quick energy. Refined sugar begins to lose its grip, not through discipline, but through lack of demand. White flour, stripped of fiber and minerals, gradually recedes. Processed foods, heavy with additives that disrupt gut flora and burden detox pathways, quietly fall away. The body no longer seeks what destabilizes it. Instead, it signals for foods that support balance. Whole vegetables, steady fats, clean proteins, and mineral-rich hydration. Baking soda baths and foot soaks now work in harmony with these internal shifts. External conditions align with internal chemistry. The antifungal environment becomes integrated rather than fragmented. Nothing is forced, nothing is rushed. The body simply maintains what now feels natural. With this foundation in place, the focus gently widens. There are other foods, habits, and environmental factors that can either undermine this balance or strengthen it further. Some quietly feed inflammation and microbial imbalance without being obvious. Others reinforce healing, resilience, and longevity when used with awareness. Having removed the major supports that fungus relies upon, the body is now ready to refine, protect, and deepen this state of health, moving forward not in correction, but in preservation. In their place, whole foods arrive. Vegetables rich in fiber feed beneficial bacteria that compete with fungal organisms. Bitter greens stimulate bile flow, supporting liver detoxification and fat digestion. When bile flows properly, waste moves forward instead of fermenting in the gut. This shift starves fungal organisms while strengthening the body's natural defenses. The colon responds to this shift with relief. Rather than being forced or cleansed aggressively, it simply resumes its rhythm. Waste exits more efficiently. Reabsorption of toxins decreases. The immune system, which lines the gut, becomes less reactive and more responsive. Regular elimination reduces systemic inflammation and lightens the immune workload. Morning lemon water gently awakens digestion. Warmth signals safety to the nervous system, allowing digestive organs to function without tension. Lemon supports liver enzymes and encourages hydration after sleep, when the body is naturally dehydrated. Proper hydration alone significantly reduces fungal burden by improving circulation and waste removal. This simple ritual sets a calm, organized tone for the entire day. Herbal teas become companions rather than interventions. Paudarco offers antifungal compounds without aggression. Oregano, thyme, rosemary, clove, and cinnamon each bring unique phytochemicals that fungal organisms do not favor. These herbs work best when used consistently and calmly, not in excess. They are teachers, not weapons. Their gentle presence reinforces balance rather than triggering resistance. Turmeric paired with black pepper reduces systemic inflammation that weakens immune response. Ginger supports circulation and digestive warmth, preventing stagnation. Raw vegetables contribute living enzymes that reduce digestive workload and improve nutrient absorption. Together, these foods restore metabolic efficiency and cellular communication. At this stage, fermented foods are approached with care. While beneficial, they can feed yeast when overused or combined with high sugar intake. Moderation allows microbial diversity to return without tipping the balance. Fruit, though natural, is reduced temporarily to prevent excess sugar from fueling fungal growth. This is not permanent restriction, but strategic patience. Restraint here prevents setbacks later in the healing process. Sunlight becomes medicine. Vitamin D strengthens immune signaling and improves the body's ability to regulate microbial populations. Fresh air reduces indoor mold exposure. Humidity is controlled, and living spaces become allies rather than silent stressors. The environment begins supporting healing rather than competing with it. Skincare simplifies. Chemical soaps, fragrances, and harsh products are removed. Natural cleansers preserve skin pH and microbiome integrity. Loose, breathable clothing allows airflow. Feet are uncovered whenever possible. Toenails are trimmed cleanly, and scalp hygiene becomes gentle and regular. The skin, as an immune organ, regains its protective intelligence. Water intake increases gradually. Clean, mineral-rich water supports every detox pathway in the body. Magnesium calms the nervous system and supports bowel regularity. Zinc repairs immune tissue. Vitamin C from whole foods strengthens connective tissue and immune resilience. Adequate minerals prevent fatigue, often mistaken for detox reactions. Antibiotics are avoided unless truly necessary. When they are used, restoration follows intentionally. Gut flora is rebuilt through food, patience, and time. Diversity returns naturally when the environment supports it. This prevents the recurring cycles that often follow aggressive treatment. The liver works quietly throughout this process. Detoxification pathways open without overload. Lymphatic flow improves through gentle movement, walking, and deep breathing. Sweat releases stored waste gradually. Extremes are avoided. Consistency becomes the true medicine. Steady support allows detox to remain sustainable. Nighttime eating fades as digestion regains rhythm. Insulin lowers at night, allowing growth hormone and repair processes to activate. Sleep deepens naturally, not forced, not sedated. Cellular repair accelerates most efficiently during these quiet hours. Stress reduction is not an accessory here. It is foundational. Chronic stress suppresses immune function and alters gut permeability. As breathing deepens and the nervous system enters parasympathetic mode, healing accelerates without effort. Safety signals allow the body to redirect energy toward repair. Barbara O'Neill's philosophy weaves quietly through it all. The body is self-healing. Remove what harms, supply what is missing, allow time, trust design. This approach honors biology rather than attempting to overpower it. Healing does not happen overnight. Fungus retreats gradually as its environment becomes inhospitable. This is not a battle, it is a return to natural order. Progress becomes noticeable in subtle but reliable ways, and as these changes begin settling into place, the body continues adjusting beneath awareness, preparing to move deeper into restoration, deeper into balance, deeper into the quiet work that continues even as you rest. Integration happens silently, without conscious effort. As the body continues adjusting beneath awareness, something important begins to shift. This is the stage where the immune system stops reacting and starts remembering, not fighting wildly, not suppressing symptoms, but recalibrating its sense of what belongs and what does not. Immune intelligence replaces immune exhaustion. The immune system is not a single organ. It is a network woven through the gut, the skin, the lungs, the liver, and the blood. When fungal overgrowth has been present for a long time, the immune system often becomes tired rather than aggressive. It has been signaling quietly, repeatedly, waiting for the terrain to change so it can respond effectively. Once conditions improve, its responses become measured and precise. Now, with sugar reduced, digestion improving, and inflammation softening, immune cells regain clarity. White blood cells communicate more efficiently. The gut-associated lymph tissue, which makes up a large portion of immune activity, becomes less irritated and more discerning. The immune system begins responding with confidence instead of confusion. This is where gut flora restoration becomes central. Beneficial bacteria do not thrive in chaos. They prefer regularity, fiber, minerals, and calm digestion. High-fiber vegetables continue feeding these allies, creating short-chain fatty acids that strengthen the gut lining. As the gut wall repairs itself, permeability decreases, and fewer toxins leak into the bloodstream. A stronger gut barrier also improves nutrient absorption, accelerating overall recovery. When fewer toxins circulate, the immune system has less to manage. Its workload lightens. Energy that was once spent on constant low-grade defense can now be redirected toward repair and maintenance. This shift often brings clearer thinking and more stable energy throughout the day. The liver plays a quiet but decisive role here. It filters blood continuously, processing hormones, toxins, and metabolic waste. When fungal byproducts circulate, the liver works harder. As fungal load decreases, liver congestion eases. Bitter greens, lemon water, turmeric, and adequate hydration support bile flow, ensuring waste leaves the body rather than recirculating. Improved bile flow also enhances fat digestion and fat-soluble nutrient absorption. Supporting the liver also supports hormonal balance. Excess estrogen, often stored when detox pathways are sluggish, can weaken immune function and feed fungal conditions indirectly. As hormones normalize, energy stabilizes, mood improves, and inflammation continues to recede. This hormonal harmony reinforces long-term resilience against recurrence. The pancreas joins this conversation through blood sugar regulation. frequent insulin spikes create an environment fungi love. When meals become balanced and nighttime eating fades, insulin secretion smooths out. Blood sugar stabilizes, cravings soften, the pancreas rests. Metabolic calm makes antifungal balance far easier to maintain. This is why fasting, when approached gently, can be restorative. Not extreme fasting, not punishment, but natural pauses between meals. Overnight fasting extends naturally when late-night eating stops. Occasionally lengthening the space between meals allows insulin levels to fall and autophagy to activate. These pauses teach the body metabolic flexibility rather than stress. Autophagy is the body's internal recycling system. Old damaged cells are broken down and replaced. This process is deeply antifungal by nature, as it removes compromised tissue that fungi often exploit. Fasting gives the digestive system a break so repair can occur. Renewal at the cellular level strengthens tissue integrity across the body. Hydration becomes even more important during this phase. Clean water allows the kidneys to flush waste efficiently. Mineral-rich water supports nerve signaling and muscle relaxation. Sea salt in small amounts replenishes trace minerals lost through detoxification. Proper hydration prevents detox symptoms from becoming unnecessary stressors. Magnesium-rich foods calm the nervous system and improve sleep depth. Deeper sleep accelerates immune repair. Zinc supports tissue regeneration and helps immune cells mature properly. Vitamin C from whole foods supports collagen repair and antioxidant protection without overwhelming the system. Together, these nutrients rebuild resilience rather than forcing stimulation. External fungal care continues in parallel. Skin, scalp, and nails respond slowly, reflecting internal changes over time. Baking soda baths and foot soaks reduce surface acidity. Coconut oil soothes skin and creates an unfriendly environment for fungal organisms. Keeping skin dry, breathable, and clean reduces reinfection cycles. External care reinforces internal progress rather than replacing it. Toenail fungus, in particular, reflects circulation and internal chemistry. As blood flow improves through walking and gentle movement, nutrients reach extremities more effectively. Nail beds receive oxygen. Growth becomes healthier, though patience is required. Nails grow slowly and healing follows that pace. Visible improvement becomes a quiet marker of deeper systemic change. Scalp fungus responds to similar principles. Gentle cleansing, avoidance of harsh chemicals, and internal balance gradually restore equilibrium. Overwashing is avoided. Balance, not sterility, is the goal. As scalp oils normalize, itching and flaking often subside without the need for medicated products. Mold exposure is addressed thoughtfully. Living spaces are aired regularly. Humidity is controlled. Fresh air circulation becomes routine. Mold is not confronted aggressively, but its conditions are removed. Dryness, light, and airflow are antifungal by nature. This environmental shift reduces immune burden and supports respiratory and neurological clarity. Clothing choices support healing. Loose, natural fibers allow the skin to breathe. Tight, Synthetic materials that trap moisture are minimized. Feet are uncovered when possible. Footwear is rotated and aired. Improved airflow helps skin maintain its natural pH and microbial balance. As the physical environment becomes supportive, stress reduction deepens the internal shift. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which suppresses immune function and destabilizes blood sugar. As breathing slows and daily walking becomes rhythmic, cortisol levels fall naturally. Lower cortisol allows immune cells to respond accurately rather than react defensively. Deep breathing activates the vagus nerve, signaling safety to the body. In this state, digestion improves, immune response strengthens, and repair accelerates. Healing is not forced, it is permitted. This parasympathetic dominance creates ideal conditions for long-term recovery. This is where the mind-body connection becomes evident. Thoughts soften, urgency fades. The body senses that it is no longer under constant threat. Repair systems activate automatically when stress subsides. Emotional calm often precedes physical improvement. Barbara O'Neill often emphasizes that modern illness is frequently a result of modern living. Artificial foods, artificial environments, artificial schedules. Returning to natural rhythms restores health more reliably than intervention alone. Simplicity becomes a therapeutic tool rather than a sacrifice. Simple meals at regular times, seasonal eating patterns, whole foods prepared gently. Avoidance of alcohol and excess caffeine reduces liver burden and stabilizes sleep. Clean water replaces sugary or fermented drinks that feed yeast. These choices reduce metabolic strain and support circadian alignment. Seed oils, unstable and inflammatory, continue to be replaced with stable fats like coconut oil and olive oil. Olive leaf extract quietly supports immune resilience, offering antimicrobial support without disrupting beneficial flora. This transition lowers systemic inflammation over time. Digestive enzymes from food and herbs improve nutrient absorption, reducing the need for overeating. Listening to hunger cues becomes easier when blood sugar stabilizes. Eating slows, chewing improves. Digestion becomes efficient rather than strained. Efficient digestion reduces fermentation and internal toxicity. Lymphatic flow continues improving through movement, dry brushing, and occasional sweating. The lymph system, often overlooked, plays a critical role in immune surveillance. As lymph flows freely, immune cells circulate efficiently, reducing localized fungal persistence. Gentle consistency keeps this system responsive. Avoiding chemical overload becomes a quiet priority. Synthetic fragrances, harsh cleaners, and unnecessary medications are minimized. The body has fewer toxins to process, freeing resources for repair. With less interference, innate healing intelligence expresses itself more clearly. Heavy metals, often stored in tissues, gradually release as detox pathways strengthen. Mineral balance supports safe elimination. This process is slow and gentle, not forced. Adequate minerals prevent reabsorption and protect the nervous system during release. As days and nights pass in this state, something subtle but profound occurs. The body begins trusting its environment again. Systems communicate smoothly, feedback loops stabilize. This internal coherence allows regulation to replace compensation. This trust is essential for long-term healing. Fungus thrives where the body is overwhelmed or confused. Clarity, consistency, and patience remove that advantage. Order restores immune confidence and precision. Healing timelines vary. Some changes are felt quickly, others unfold over weeks and months. The goal is not speed, but permanence. Consistency over intensity becomes the guiding principle. Sustainable habits create results that hold. Gentle daily discipline replaces dramatic intervention. A walk each day, simple meals, clean water, regular sleep, natural light, breath. These small signals accumulate into powerful biological instructions. The body responds not with sudden change, but with steady improvement. Energy stabilizes, skin clears gradually, digestion smooths, immune resilience strengthens quietly. Progress becomes measurable in comfort rather than symptoms. And as this internal rebuilding continues, the body prepares to move into even deeper layers of balance, addressing inflammation, lymphatic cleansing, mineral restoration, and the subtle systems that support longevity and regeneration. Readiness replaces resistance, continuing gently without strain, without urgency into the next phase of restoration. The body leads and healing follows. And as the body moves into this deeper phase of restoration, inflammation begins to quiet in places you may not consciously notice. Inflammation is not always loud. Often it's subtle, woven into tissues, joints, skin, and nerves, quietly altering chemistry and communication. Fungus thrives where inflammation lingers, because inflamed tissue is easier to colonize and harder for the immune system to regulate. Reducing inflammation naturally is less about suppressing symptoms and more about restoring harmony. When inflammatory signals fade, oxygen delivery improves, circulation strengthens, and immune cells regain precision. This is where the body begins to feel lighter, clearer, less burdened. Mineral balance becomes especially important here. Modern soil depletion has left many foods lower in magnesium, zinc, and trace minerals than they once were. Without these minerals, enzymatic reactions slow, detox pathways falter, and immune responses weaken. Restoring minerals through whole foods, sea salt, leafy greens, and clean water allows thousands of chemical reactions to proceed efficiently again. Magnesium calms overactive nerves and relaxes smooth muscle, improving circulation and lymphatic flow. When lymph moves freely, waste products are carried away instead of stagnating. Zinc supports immune cell maturation and tissue repair, helping the body respond appropriately rather than excessively. Trace minerals act as quiet conductors, ensuring biochemical processes stay in rhythm. The lymphatic system, unlike the circulatory system, has no pump. It relies on movement, breath, and muscle contraction to flow. When movement is gentle and regular, lymph begins to circulate more freely. Daily walking, stretching, and deep breathing act like a slow massage from the inside, encouraging toxins, cellular debris, and microbial byproducts to leave the tissues. Dry brushing further supports this process. Gentle strokes toward the heart stimulate lymph vessels beneath the skin, improving detoxification and skin health. As lymphatic congestion clears, the immune system becomes more efficient and fungal persistence weakens. Sweating, when approached gently, offers another pathway for release. Through light exercise or warm baths, the body releases water-soluble toxins through the skin. This reduces the burden on the liver and kidneys, allowing them to focus on deeper metabolic tasks. Epsom salt baths combine warmth with magnesium absorption, relaxing muscles while supporting detoxification. Baking soda baths continue supporting skin alkalinity, making the external environment less welcoming to fungal organisms. These practices are not rushed. They are rituals of patience. Internal and external fungal issues are connected, but they express differently. Internal fungal imbalance often shows up as digestive discomfort, fatigue, cravings, and immune sensitivity. External manifestations, skin, scalp, nails, reflect internal terrain over time. As internal balance improves, external symptoms follow, though often with delay. The visible changes simply mirror the deeper, ongoing shifts beneath the surface. Skin pH plays a critical role here. Healthy skin maintains a slightly acidic mantle that protects against pathogenic organisms while supporting beneficial microbes. Harsh soaps, fragrances, and chemical products disrupt this balance, creating openings for fungal overgrowth. Gentle, natural cleansing preserves the skin's protective layer, allowing microbial communities to re-establish themselves naturally. Avoiding scented products becomes an act of healing rather than deprivation. The skin breathes, the microbiome stabilizes. Natural oils like coconut oil soothe and protect without suffocating the skin. Over time, the skin regains elasticity and resilience, reflecting internal harmony as much as external care. Circulation continues improving as inflammation fades. Blood carries oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells more efficiently to peripheral tissues. Feet and hands warm. Nail beds receive nourishment. Healing accelerates quietly. Improved circulation also enhances detoxification, allowing waste and fungal byproducts to move away from vulnerable tissues. Herbal antifungals deepen their work during this phase. Oregano oil, used sparingly, disrupts fungal cell walls while stimulating immune response. Thyme tea offers gentle antimicrobial support without overwhelming digestion. Rosemary infusion supports circulation and liver function simultaneously. Their effects are cumulative, subtly reinforcing the terrain that fungi cannot dominate. Neem enters carefully, respected for its potency. Used in small amounts, neem discourages fungal growth and supports skin healing. Clove and cinnamon continue reducing microbial overgrowth while improving blood sugar stability. Together, these botanicals work synergistically to maintain balance across multiple systems. Olive leaf extract provides immune modulation rather than blunt force. It supports the body's natural defenses without disrupting beneficial flora. This distinction matters. Balance is preserved, and the immune system learns to respond with precision rather than overreaction. Reducing inflammation also involves removing irritants. Alcohol fades away, reducing liver burden and sugar intake simultaneously. Caffeine is reduced, allowing adrenal recovery and better sleep depth. Clean water replaces stimulating beverages. These simple environmental shifts complement internal strategies, making antifungal progress effortless. Blood sugar stabilization continues as a central theme. Insulin spikes feed fungal organisms and drive inflammation. Balanced meals, fiber-rich vegetables, healthy fats, and adequate protein keep glucose levels steady. The pancreas responds with relief rather than strain. Consistency in timing and composition of meals reinforces metabolic calm. The digestive rhythm stabilizes further. Enzymatic activity improves. Food is broken down thoroughly, reducing fermentation. Gas, bloating, and discomfort soften. Nutrients are absorbed rather than wasted. Digestive efficiency frees energy for repair rather than constant processing. Listening to hunger cues becomes easier as metabolic chaos subsides. The body asks for nourishment when needed and signals satisfaction clearly. Eating slows naturally. Overeating fades without effort. Mindful attention to the body strengthens internal communication pathways. Seasonal eating patterns return. Heavier foods support colder months. Lighter foods suit warmer days. This rhythm aligns digestion with environmental cues, reducing stress on metabolic systems. Eating in tune with nature enhances enzymatic efficiency and nutrient utilization. The mind-body connection deepens. Thoughts influence physiology, and physiology influences thoughts. As inflammation fades and blood sugar stabilizes, mental clarity improves. Anxiety softens. Sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Emotional calm further supports fungal balance. Stress reduction practices integrate seamlessly now. Breathing becomes slower and deeper. Muscles release tension held unconsciously. The nervous system spends more time in parasympathetic mode, where repair and regeneration occur. Relaxed physiology allows internal antifungal mechanisms to operate efficiently. Restorative sleep patterns strengthen immune memory. During deep sleep, immune cells communicate, hormones rebalance, and tissue repair accelerates. Fungus finds little opportunity in a body that sleeps well. Sleep itself becomes a natural antifungal ally. Sunlight exposure continues supporting circadian rhythm. Morning light anchors the sleep-wake cycle, improving nighttime melatonin production. Melatonin itself supports immune function and antioxidant activity. The body's internal clock synchronizes with external cues, enhancing overall resilience. Avoiding nighttime eating protects this rhythm. Digestion rests, repair hormones rise. The body focuses inward rather than outward. Metabolic clarity strengthens, leaving little opportunity for fungal persistence. Environmental toxins are reduced gradually. Cleaning products become simpler. Air quality improves. Heavy metals and chemical residues slowly leave tissues as detox pathways strengthen. This process is patient and layered. Detox becomes integrated rather than burdensome. The liver and kidneys continue their steady work. Supporting them with hydration, minerals, and gentle herbs prevents overload. Detoxification becomes a background function rather than a crisis response. Organ systems cooperate smoothly, reinforcing antifungal balance. Barbara O'Neill's influence remains present here. Healing is not dramatic. It is cumulative. Small daily choices reshape the terrain more effectively than intense interventions. This philosophy turns consistency into the primary agent of change. Consistency becomes the quiet hero. Gentle daily discipline replaces urgency. A walk each day, clean food, breath, light, water, rest. These simple acts accumulate into profound biological guidance. The immune system responds to this consistency with resilience. It no longer needs to overreact. It responds appropriately, efficiently, calmly. Precision replaces exhaustion. Fungus loses its advantage when the body is regulated rather than reactive. Without sugar surges, acidity, stagnation, and inflammation, fungal organisms simply cannot maintain dominance. The internal environment itself becomes the antifungal mechanism. The body remembers its design. Self-healing pathways activate without instruction. Regeneration unfolds according to biological timing. Systems communicate and coordinate effortlessly. As this phase settles in, deeper longevity mechanisms begin to activate. Cellular repair improves. Mitochondrial function strengthens. Energy production becomes efficient rather than strained. Metabolic and immune resilience build quietly. The body prepares to move into the final layers of integration, where lifestyle becomes effortless. Healing stabilizes long-term, and balance sustains itself without constant attention. Internal systems now cooperate, maintaining antifungal balance automatically. And as you rest here, floating gently within these rhythms, the work continues quietly, steadily, without urgency, without effort, carrying you naturally into the next phase of restoration. Each cell participates in the ongoing harmony of repair and balance. And as the body settles further into repair, long-term rhythms begin to establish themselves. Daily habits, repeated gently and consistently, become the scaffolding for natural immunity. The immune system no longer operates in reactive bursts. It operates in quiet confidence, sensing each cell, each tissue, each organ, coordinating repair and defense with precision. Consistency becomes medicine. Gentle daily walks, slow breathing, hydration, and whole foods reinforce the environment the body prefers. Movement, even at a calm pace, stimulates circulation, sending oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells to extremities where fungal growth often lingers. Toenails, nail beds, and scalp follicles, long deprived of optimal support, begin to feel the subtle shift. Healing is slow, but deep and enduring. Skin care reflects internal balance. When the skin is allowed to breathe, bathed in gentle warmth, and cleansed without harsh chemicals, fungal organisms lose their foothold. Natural soaps, mild washes, and occasional coconut oil applications preserve the acid mantle and microbiome, creating a surface environment inhospitable to fungal growth. Tight clothing, synthetic fabrics, and trapped moisture are minimized, allowing skin and extremities to maintain natural temperature and oxygenation. Internal and external fungal issues are connected, but they express differently. Internal fungal imbalance often shows up as digestive discomfort, fatigue, cravings, and immune sensitivity. External manifestations, skin, scalp, nails, reflect internal terrain over time. As internal balance improves, external symptoms follow, though often with delay. The visible changes simply mirror the deeper, ongoing shifts beneath the surface, quietly reflecting internal health and balance. Skin pH plays a critical role here. Healthy skin maintains a slightly acidic mantle that protects against pathogenic organisms while supporting beneficial microbes. Harsh soaps, fragrances, and chemical products disrupt this balance, creating openings for fungal overgrowth. Gentle, natural cleansing preserves the skin's protective layer, allowing microbial communities to re-establish themselves naturally and maintaining moisture and elasticity that further discourage fungal colonization. Avoiding scented products becomes an act of healing rather than deprivation. The skin breathes, the microbiome stabilizes. Natural oils like coconut oil soothe and protect without suffocating the skin. Over time, the skin regains elasticity and resilience, reflecting internal harmony as much as external care, while supporting a protective microbial community that adapts to environmental challenges. Circulation continues improving as inflammation fades. Blood carries oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells more efficiently to peripheral tissues. Feet and hands warm. Nail beds receive nourishment. Healing accelerates quietly. Improved circulation also enhances detoxification, allowing waste and fungal byproducts to move away from vulnerable tissues, strengthening skin and nail resilience over time. Herbal antifungals deepen their work during this phase. Oregano oil, used sparingly, disrupts fungal cell walls while stimulating immune response. Thyme tea offers gentle antimicrobial support without overwhelming digestion. Rosemary infusion supports circulation and liver function simultaneously. Their effects are cumulative, subtly reinforcing the terrain that fungi cannot dominate, and providing antioxidants that nourish cells while preventing microbial overgrowth. Neem enters carefully, respected for its potency. Used in small amounts, neem discourages fungal growth and supports skin healing. Clove and cinnamon continue reducing microbial overgrowth while improving blood sugar stability. Together, these botanicals work synergistically to maintain balance across multiple systems, while also reducing inflammation and oxidative stress. Olive leaf extract provides immune modulation rather than blunt force. It supports the body's natural defenses without disrupting beneficial flora. This distinction matters. Balance is preserved, and the immune system learns to respond with precision rather than overreaction, promoting sustainable microbial harmony. Reducing inflammation also involves removing irritants. Alcohol fades away, reducing liver burden and sugar intake simultaneously. Caffeine is reduced, allowing adrenal recovery and better sleep depth. Clean water replaces stimulating beverages. These simple environmental shifts complement internal strategies, making antifungal progress effortless while supporting overall metabolic and cardiovascular health. Blood sugar stabilization continues as a central theme. Insulin spikes feed fungal organisms and drive inflammation. Balanced meals, fiber-rich vegetables, healthy fats, and adequate protein keep glucose levels steady. The pancreas responds with relief rather than strain. Consistency in timing and composition of meals reinforces metabolic calm, encouraging cravings to normalize naturally. The digestive rhythm stabilizes further. Enzymatic activity improves. Food is broken down thoroughly, reducing fermentation. Gas, bloating, and discomfort soften. Nutrients are absorbed rather than wasted. Digestive efficiency frees energy for repair rather than constant processing, and the gut lining is reinforced against microbial imbalance. Listening to hunger cues becomes easier as metabolic chaos subsides. The body asks for nourishment when needed and signals satisfaction clearly. Eating slows naturally. Overeating fades without effort. Mindful attention to the body strengthens internal communication pathways, supporting digestive efficiency and metabolic balance simultaneously. Seasonal eating patterns return. Heavier foods support colder months. Lighter foods suit warmer days. This rhythm aligns digestion with environmental cues, reducing stress on metabolic systems. Eating in tune with nature enhances enzymatic efficiency and nutrient utilization, while providing essential phytonutrients that support antifungal defenses. The mind-body connection deepens. Thoughts influence physiology, and physiology influences thoughts. As inflammation fades and blood sugar stabilizes, mental clarity improves, anxiety softens, sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Emotional calm further supports fungal balance and encourages internal hormonal equilibrium. Stress reduction practices integrate seamlessly now. Breathing becomes slower and deeper. Muscles release tension held unconsciously. The nervous system spends more time in parasympathetic mode, where repair and regeneration occur. Relaxed physiology allows internal antifungal mechanisms to operate efficiently, supporting detoxification and immune signaling. Restorative sleep patterns strengthen immune memory. During deep sleep, immune cells communicate. Hormones rebalance and tissue repair accelerates. Fungus finds little opportunity in a body that sleeps well. Sleep itself becomes a natural antifungal ally, enhancing cellular repair and immune surveillance. Sunlight exposure continues supporting circadian rhythm. Morning light anchors the sleep-wake cycle, improving nighttime melatonin production. Melatonin itself supports immune function and antioxidant activity. The body's internal clock synchronizes with external cues, enhancing overall resilience and hormonal balance. Avoiding nighttime eating protects this rhythm. Digestion rests. Repair hormones rise. The body focuses inward rather than outward. Metabolic clarity strengthens, leaving little opportunity for fungal persistence and allowing growth and repair processes to dominate. Environmental toxins are reduced gradually, cleaning products become simpler, air quality improves, Heavy metals and chemical residues slowly leave tissues as detox pathways strengthen. This process is patient and layered. Detox becomes integrated rather than burdensome, allowing the immune system to operate efficiently without unnecessary stress. The liver and kidneys continue their steady work, supporting them with hydration, minerals, and gentle herbs prevents overload. Detoxification becomes a background function rather than a crisis response. Organ systems cooperate smoothly, reinforcing antifungal balance while maintaining overall metabolic and hormonal health. Barbara O'Neill's influence remains present here. Healing is not dramatic. It is cumulative. Small daily choices reshape the terrain more effectively than the intense interventions. This philosophy turns consistency into the primary agent of change, emphasizing rhythm over force. Consistency becomes the quiet hero. Gentle daily discipline replaces urgency. A walk each day, clean food, breath, light, water, rest. These simple acts accumulate into profound biological guidance, restoring harmony throughout the body and microbial ecosystems. The immune system responds to this consistency with resilience. It no longer needs to overreact. It responds appropriately, efficiently, calmly. Precision replaces exhaustion, and immune memory strengthens naturally over time. Fungus loses its advantage when the body is regulated rather than reactive. Without sugar surges, acidity, stagnation, and inflammation, fungal organisms simply cannot maintain dominance. The internal environment itself becomes the antifungal mechanism, sustained through balance and rhythm. The body remembers its design. Self-healing pathways activate without instruction. Regeneration unfolds according to biological timing. Systems communicate and coordinate effortlessly, optimizing energy and defense simultaneously. As this phase settles in, deeper longevity mechanisms begin to activate. Cellular repair improves, mitochondrial function strengthens, energy production becomes efficient rather than strained. Metabolic and immune resilience build quietly, preparing the body for sustained antifungal balance. The body prepares to move into the final layers of integration, where lifestyle becomes effortless. Healing stabilizes long-term and balance sustains itself without constant attention. Internal systems now cooperate, maintaining antifungal balance automatically while supporting overall vitality. And as you rest here, floating gently within these rhythms, the work continues quietly, steadily, without urgency, without effort, carrying you naturally into the next phase of restoration. Each cell participates in the ongoing harmony of repair, detoxification, and balance. And as the body continues to find balance, there are subtle practices that enhance antifungal resilience and deepen long-term restoration. Dairy products, often hidden in sauces, beverages, and snacks, can be challenging for digestion and subtly feed fungal activity. Avoiding them gently, without stress or rigidity, allows the digestive system to function without irritation. The body responds with calmer bile flow, smoother gut motility, and less inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract. This quiet adjustment strengthens the environment where beneficial bacteria thrive, and fungal organisms have fewer opportunities to proliferate. Yeast-containing foods such as breads, pastries, and certain fermented snacks are another area to consider with intention. Even when sugar is reduced, these foods introduce additional live yeast into the digestive system. By avoiding them, the internal terrain becomes more balanced. The gut microbiome stabilizes. Candida-friendly eating is reinforced naturally. Meals based on whole vegetables, root foods, and moderate protein create a rhythm that supports microbial diversity while limiting opportunistic fungi. The body gradually learns to favor foods that restore internal harmony over those that temporarily excite cravings. External care continues to support this internal restoration. Apple cider vinegar foot soaks are a gentle, accessible method for discouraging fungal growth on the feet and nails. Warm water combined with a small amount of apple cider vinegar allows the feet to relax while slightly lowering surface pH, making it harder for fungus to thrive. 10 to 15 minutes several times per week encourages circulation, softens nail beds, and supports natural antifungal balance. The ritual of soaking also signals the nervous system to relax, reinforcing the body's repair state. Coconut oil pulling is another practice that subtly integrates oral health with internal antifungal support. Swishing a tablespoon of high-quality coconut oil in the mouth for 10 to 20 minutes, preferably on an empty stomach in the morning, draws bacterial and fungal residues from the oral cavity. This practice supports saliva production, balances the oral microbiome, and primes digestion for the day ahead. Following the rinse, gentle hydration and natural breakfast foods continue the cycle of cleansing and nourishment. Over time, the body's internal environment becomes less hospitable to opportunistic fungi while supporting oral and digestive harmony. Colon health is foundational to long-term antifungal balance. Fiber-rich vegetables, root foods, and gentle hydration work together to maintain smooth transit and promote the elimination of metabolic byproducts. Occasional supportive practices, such as warm lemon water in the morning or gentle herbal teas for cleansing, help the colon move efficiently. These routines support regularity without harsh intervention. As waste is removed effectively, the liver, kidneys, and lymphatic system face less strain, circulation improves, and the gut microbiome stabilizes. The colon becomes a partner in antifungal maintenance, rather than a hidden source of stagnation or imbalance. Fermented sugar drinks, such as kombucha with added sugars, sweetened kefir or soda-like beverages, introduce both sugar and additional yeast into the digestive system. Avoiding these drinks preserves stable blood sugar and reduces fungal nourishment. The body responds with calmer insulin rhythms, steadier energy, and less inflammation. Replacing these beverages with clean water, herbal infusions, or lightly flavored mineral water supports hydration, detoxification, and microbial stability. Sweating remains an essential part of detoxification, and saunas offer a gentle, profound extension of this natural process. Warmth from a sauna encourages vasodilation, stimulates lymphatic flow, and supports the excretion of water-soluble toxins through the skin. Even brief sessions, when approached safely and consistently, complement movement and hydration, enhancing the body's antifungal defenses and promoting systemic balance. The skin becomes a responsive organ for release, not merely a barrier. Footwear choices reinforce this environment externally. Tight shoes or synthetic materials trap moisture and heat, creating a favorable niche for fungal growth. Loose, breathable, natural fiber footwear allows air circulation, temperature regulation, and gentle support. Over time, extremities respond with reduced fungal activity, improved nail and skin health, and enhanced comfort. Even minor adjustments in clothing and footwear contribute to long-term systemic stability. Underlying all of these practices is a quiet philosophy that harmonizes with natural law and human physiology. Biblical health principles reflected in Barbara O'Neill's teachings emphasize the wisdom of simplicity, patience, and alignment with nature's rhythms. Eating whole foods, resting sufficiently, moving gently, avoiding toxins, and trusting this body's innate intelligence reflect these principles in daily life. Healing is not rushed. It is cumulative, measured, and resilient. Daily discipline, rooted in consistency rather than intensity, reinforces antifungal maintenance while supporting longevity and overall vitality. The body, now supported internally and externally, continues its regenerative rhythm. Immune resilience is strengthened. Circulation reaches every tissue. Detoxification pathways operate efficiently. Microbial balance is stabilized. Sleep is restorative. Hormonal rhythms normalize. Inflammation diminishes. Energy flows smoothly through every organ, every system, every cell. Fungal organisms cannot thrive in this carefully orchestrated environment. Every gentle habit, every mindful choice, every natural rhythm reinforces this antifungal state. And as this phase settles deeply, the body prepares to carry these rhythms forward into effortless long-term balance. The antifungal environment becomes self-sustaining. Healing continues quietly, persistently, and naturally. The body learns to maintain this balance autonomously. Circulation, sleep, diet, movement, hydration, and herbal support continue in a seamless, integrated pattern. External and internal fungal pressures diminish. The body's self-healing intelligence guides every process. Harmony is maintained. Resilience is strengthened. And as the body drifts deeper into its natural rhythms, antifungal maintenance becomes effortless. This is no longer a series of interventions or reminders. It is a quiet, continuous orchestration. The body now functions in an environment where fungal organisms cannot gain traction. Internal chemistry is balanced, blood sugar is steady, digestion flows, and the immune system is both vigilant and calm. Every heartbeat, breath, and movement contributes to a system that is resilient, self-correcting, and inherently antifungal. The body no longer waits for external commands to restore itself. It anticipates, adjusts, and sustains equilibrium naturally. Every day, simple natural patterns reinforce this antifungal terrain. Nutrient-rich meals provide minerals, antioxidants, and fiber without overloading the digestive system. Alkaline vegetables, bitter greens, root vegetables, squash, and moderate fermented foods maintain microbial diversity while discouraging yeast overgrowth. These foods also provide polyphenols, phytonutrients, and prebiotic fibers that nourish beneficial bacteria, which in turn strengthen the gut barrier and reduce inflammatory signaling. Processed foods, refined sugar, white flour, and seed oils are naturally avoided, not through deprivation, but through the body's own preference for balance. Over time, the digestive system recognizes what supports internal stability and what does not, creating a self-reinforcing pattern of selection toward nourishment and away from imbalance. Hydration continues to be central. Mineral-rich water nourishes every cell, supporting enzymatic reactions, detox pathways, and immune precision. Small amounts of sea salt provide trace minerals, reinforcing balance at the cellular level and helping maintain electrolyte equilibrium critical for nerve, muscle, and circulatory function. Warm lemon water in the morning gently stimulates the liver, encouraging bile flow and supporting the smooth removal of waste products. These gentle rituals become internalized, effortless, and restorative, aligning metabolism, detoxification, and digestion seamlessly. Proper hydration alone improves circulation, strengthens kidney function, and enhances cellular oxygenation, indirectly making fungal environments less favorable. Sleep patterns deepen naturally. The body moves through its restorative cycles without interruption. Growth hormone peaks during deep sleep, supporting tissue repair, liver regeneration, and immune training. As rest consolidates, inflammatory processes diminish, digestion recalibrates, and cellular repair occurs without conscious effort. Nighttime insulin levels remain stable, allowing repair hormones to work unhindered. Sleep itself becomes antifungal, a natural reset that prevents opportunistic organisms from thriving while enhancing mitochondrial energy production, balancing neurotransmitters, and stabilizing hormone rhythms. Circulation and lymphatic flow continue to strengthen through gentle movement, stretching, and deep breathing. The lymphatic system carries immune cells, metabolic byproducts, and residual toxins, moving them toward elimination. Dry brushing and mild sweating enhance this circulation, ensuring peripheral tissues, nails, skin, and scalp receive nourishment and oxygen. Fungus finds no environment conducive to overgrowth in a body that circulates freely, breathes deeply, and rests fully. Consistent movement further supports venous return and lymph propulsion, reinforcing detoxification and ensuring that nutrients reach every extremity efficiently. External fungal care is now subtle, seamless, integrated into daily living rather than deliberate intervention. Feet and nails remain dry, clean, and trimmed. Coconut oil maintains skin integrity while supporting natural microbial balance. Baking soda soaks continue to gently optimize pH without harshness. Hair and scalp care remains simple, avoiding chemical products, fragrances, and overwashing. Loose natural clothing supports airflow and temperature regulation. These practices reinforce internal stability and provide a consistent environment that discourages fungal recurrence, allowing the immune system to operate without distraction. Herbs maintain their quiet presence in daily routines. Oregano oil is used sparingly, supporting internal microbial balance. Pau d'arco tea, rosemary, thyme, cinnamon, clove, and neem continue subtle antifungal and circulatory support. Olive leaf extract modulates immunity without disrupting gut flora. Turmeric, paired with black pepper, reduces residual inflammation, while ginger encourages circulation and digestive warmth. These plant allies work cumulatively, without urgency, strengthening the body's natural defenses while harmonizing with daily rhythms. Their phytochemicals support antioxidant activity, improve vascular health, and modulate inflammatory pathways that otherwise encourage fungal persistence. Minerals continue to support every process. Magnesium calms nervous system activity, relaxes muscles, and improves circulation. Zinc supports tissue repair and immune cell maturation. Trace minerals facilitate enzymatic reactions and energy production. These nutrients, delivered consistently through whole foods, water, and occasional sea salt, maintain internal balance and prevent fungal resurgence. The body's intelligence continues orchestrating these systems quietly, restoring itself without conscious direction, while ensuring that peripheral tissues, nails, and skin receive ongoing protection against opportunistic fungi. The pancreas, liver, and kidneys remain central to this long-term antifungal state. Blood sugar is stable, insulin response is regulated, and waste is filtered efficiently. Detoxification occurs naturally, gradually without force. Heavy metals, residual toxins, and metabolic byproducts are eliminated steadily. Hormones normalize. Energy stabilizes. Internal communication between systems improves, and tissue repair accelerates subtly but persistently. Hormonal regulation, including adrenal and thyroid function, supports ongoing metabolic balance that discourages fungal colonization at the cellular level. Digestive efficiency remains a cornerstone. Meals are nutrient-dense, balanced, and consistent. Fiber supports gut flora, feeding beneficial bacteria and maintaining a competitive environment against fungi. Digestive enzymes from whole foods enhance nutrient absorption. Hunger cues become clear, eating slows naturally, and overeating fades. This rhythm allows the gastrointestinal tract to rest, autophagy to occur, and repair to continue uninterrupted. Internal fungal conditions are naturally discouraged by this consistent, nourishing environment. Regular fiber intake also supports short-chain fatty acid production, strengthening gut barrier integrity and reducing systemic inflammation that can otherwise favor fungal overgrowth. The mind-body connection deepens further. Calm mental rhythms support physiological balance. Stress responses are minimal. The autonomic nervous system remains predominantly parasympathetic. Cortisol and other stress hormones are reduced naturally. The immune system communicates efficiently. Repair occurs without strain. Fungus cannot flourish when the body operates in this state of calm, consistent rhythm. Mental clarity, emotional balance, and physical health become intertwined, creating a resilient internal landscape that resists opportunistic organisms. Sunlight, air, and environmental awareness reinforce this antifungal stability. Morning light maintains circadian rhythm, enhances vitamin D synthesis, and supports sleep-wake cycles. Fresh air reduces indoor mold exposure and optimizes respiratory function. Humidity is managed carefully, ensuring that living spaces are inhospitable to fungal growth. Environmental harmony becomes a natural extension of internal balance, encouraging ongoing microbial and immune equilibrium. Consistency in these practices becomes effortless over time. Walking, breathing, hydration, nutrient-rich meals, gentle herbal support, sunlight, sleep, and mindful rest are integrated seamlessly into daily life. Healing is no longer an effortful series of interventions. It is an ongoing, cumulative rhythm that the body understands and sustains naturally. Fungus cannot establish dominance because the terrain no longer supports it. This consistency trains the body's regulatory systems to operate efficiently, reducing reactive inflammation, maintaining metabolic stability, and sustaining immune vigilance. As you move into this phase of integration, the body begins to manifest long-term regeneration. Cellular repair is optimized. Tissue integrity strengthens. Organ systems communicate with clarity. Circulation reaches even the most peripheral tissues. Sleep consolidates repair. Hormones normalize. Inflammation remains low. Immune memory is refined. The body has returned to its natural state of balance, antifungal and resilient. This integration extends to daily routines. Seasonal eating supports metabolic needs. Gentle movement sustains circulation and lymphatic flow. Breathing exercises reinforce parasympathetic dominance. External fungal care is subtle and consistent. Nutrient intake supports repair and longevity. Hydration and trace minerals maintain cellular function. Sleep cycles consolidate repair. Every choice, every rhythm reinforces this antifungal regenerative environment. Lifestyle becomes inherently protective and health-promoting without conscious effort. The wisdom of Barbara O'Neill continues to resonate here. Healing is cumulative, subtle, and patient. The body restores itself through consistent patterns rather than forceful interventions. Symptoms guide adjustments. Habits reinforce repair. Time allows regeneration. Fungus finds no foothold in a body that is balanced, hydrated, well-nourished, rested, and unstressed. Longevity and resilience emerge naturally. The body has learned its own rhythm, responding effectively to challenges without panic. Immune cells circulate efficiently. Circulation nourishes peripheral tissues. Detoxification occurs continuously. Nutrients reach every cell. Sleep consolidates repair. Healing unfolds quietly, deeply, and sustainably. The nervous system remains in parasympathetic predominance, supporting continual repair and metabolic efficiency. And now, as these systems harmonize fully, the body begins to drift into its natural rhythm of antifungal stability, regeneration, and effortless balance. Healing is not forced, it is permitted, it is integrated, it is enduring. The body moves through this state with ease, confidence, and clarity. The body continues to heal. Fungus natural remedies restore inner balance and will keep floating, moving together through the body. Every breath supports repair. Every heartbeat sustains rhythm. Every gentle movement circulates lymph, nutrients, and immune signals. Every conscious choice or effortless habit reinforces the environment the body prefers. Fungal organisms no longer find traction. Internal balance is restored. External surfaces reflect this harmony. Sleep deepens, energy stabilizes, circulation continues, the lymphatic system flows. Detoxification occurs naturally. Nutrients are absorbed efficiently. Immune cells respond appropriately. Hormones balance. Inflammation remains minimal. Cellular repair proceeds uninterrupted. This state is self-perpetuating. Consistency is the quiet key. Gentle daily rhythms reinforce the antifungal terrain. Habits, environmental harmony, nutrient intake, circulation, and sleep merge seamlessly. The body learns and remembers. Healing becomes effortless. Regeneration continues quietly and persistently. Mental clarity and emotional resilience enhance adherence naturally, reinforcing physical restoration. And as you float deeper into this restorative antifungal state, the body carries on autonomously, restoring inner balance and health. Every system functions with precision. Every rhythm is synchronized. Every cell receives what it needs. Fungus cannot thrive. Balance is natural. Healing is complete in its ongoing flow. Every day, cellular repair, immune regulation, detoxification, and metabolic efficiency reinforce one another, creating a resilient internal environment for life. The body continues to heal. Fungus natural remedies restore inner balance and will keep floating, moving together through the body. The rhythm persists. The terrain remains inhospitable to fungus. Internal and external systems are aligned. Sleep, movement, hydration, nutrition, sunlight, and air harmonize. The body operates with quiet intelligence. Immune resilience is robust. Circulation, lymphatic flow, and detox pathways function effortlessly. Regeneration unfolds continuously. Healing is patient, subtle, and enduring. Each day adds layers of strength, metabolic clarity, and microbial balance, creating a lasting antifungal environment. The body continues to heal. Fungus natural remedies restore inner balance and will keep floating, moving together through the body. Habits and rhythms now sustain health without conscious effort. Internal and external systems communicate seamlessly. Every organ, tissue, and cell participates in antifungal defense. Energy is stable, repair is ongoing, and balance is effortless. The body continues to heal. Fungus natural remedies restore inner balance and will keep floating, moving together through the body. Internal balance has become the new default. External manifestations align naturally. Metabolic and immune systems function in synchrony. Circulation, hydration, nutrition, and sleep converge into a resilient antifungal framework. restoration continues quietly, persistently, and holistically. Diet-specific attention enhances long-term antifungal resilience. Meals emphasize whole, minimally processed foods that support the gut microbiome and discourage opportunistic yeast. Vegetables are prioritized for their fiber, micronutrients, and polyphenols, which nourish beneficial bacteria and reduce inflammation. Moderate protein sources, including legumes, eggs, and sustainably raised meats, provide amino acids necessary for repair and immune signaling without feeding fungal overgrowth. Healthy fats from olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado stabilize blood sugar, support cellular integrity, and promote anti-inflammatory signaling. Occasional fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, or kefir, are included strategically, providing probiotics without overwhelming the gut or fueling yeast. The body naturally gravitates toward these foods as internal equilibrium strengthens, creating a self-reinforcing nutritional pattern that maintains antifungal balance. Environmental hygiene further supports internal restoration. Living spaces are maintained to reduce fungal exposure and optimize airflow. Regular cleaning emphasizes non-toxic, natural products to avoid unnecessary chemical stress on the body. High humidity areas, such as bathrooms and basements, are ventilated consistently, preventing mold from establishing. Bedding, towels, and clothing are rotated and laundered with gentle detergents, minimizing fungal reservoirs. Air quality is monitored and improved through open windows, fans, or air filtration when necessary. By aligning the external environment with internal balance, the body faces fewer challenges, allowing immune and detoxification systems to focus on repair rather than constant defense. Herbal rotations introduce subtle antifungal support while preventing microbial adaptation. Oregano oil, thyme, rosemary, clove, cinnamon, neem, and olive leaf extract are used thoughtfully, in rotation, and often in combination with supportive teas or capsules. Each herb brings a unique spectrum of antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, or circulatory support, allowing the body to benefit without overwhelming microbial populations or digestive function. Rotations help the body maintain sensitivity to these compounds while reinforcing long-term antifungal terrain. Herbs can be integrated into teas, meals, or topical applications, providing cumulative benefits that enhance internal balance, support detox pathways, and maintain immune vigilance. In combination, these practices create a layered, resilient approach. Diet, environment, and herbal support act synergistically, reinforcing the antifungal framework established through internal balance, sleep, circulation, and gentle daily habits. Each element complements the other, reducing the likelihood of fungal resurgence, supporting energy, and promoting consistent repair. Over time, the body learns this rhythm, naturally selecting foods, environments, and routines that sustain health and discourage microbial imbalance. Healing becomes embedded in daily life rather than a series of interventions, allowing the antifungal state to persist effortlessly. In addition to diet, herbs, and environmental care, daily lifestyle rhythms quietly reinforce antifungal balance. Gentle movement, like walking, stretching, or slow yoga, encourages circulation without stressing the nervous system. Movement stimulates lymphatic flow, helping to transport immune cells and remove metabolic waste, including fungal byproducts. Over time, these routines shift from conscious effort to intuitive practice, integrated naturally into each day. Even small amounts of motion, reaching for shelves, tending a garden, or brief walks outdoors, accumulate into meaningful support for internal cleansing and tissue nourishment. Seasonal alignment enhances this approach. In colder months, the body benefits from warm, nutrient-rich meals, slow digestion, and indoor activity that maintains circulation and warmth. In warmer seasons, lighter foods, increased hydration, and outdoor exposure to sunlight and fresh air optimize immune function and metabolic efficiency. Paying attention to natural rhythms also supports circadian cycles, reinforcing restorative sleep, hormone balance, and digestion. These subtle adjustments help the body anticipate and respond to environmental changes rather than reacting with stress or imbalance. Mindful breathing is another cornerstone of this phase. Deep, slow breaths activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which encourages repair, reduces inflammation, and improves oxygenation to tissues. Breathing practices support mental clarity and emotional calm, which in turn stabilizes blood sugar and lowers systemic stress. Two conditions fungi exploit when the body is reactive. Over time, the rhythm of the breath becomes automatic, an ongoing internal signal that the body is safe, supported, and aligned for healing. Hydration and mineral balance continue to underpin these routines. Water is taken regularly, not excessively, and mineral content is emphasized to support enzyme function, cellular communication, and detox pathways. Trace minerals like magnesium, potassium, and sodium, obtained from foods or small amounts of sea salt, support smooth muscle function, circulation, and electrolyte balance. Proper hydration also ensures that lymph, blood, and cellular fluids carry nutrients and immune signals efficiently, maintaining a systemic environment where fungal overgrowth cannot take hold. Finally, attention to sleep timing and light exposure integrates with all other practices. Early waking with natural light, brief periods outdoors, and minimizing artificial light at night strengthens circadian rhythm. Deep, uninterrupted sleep allows growth hormone to peak, tissue repair to occur, and immune cells to calibrate. This creates an internal terrain where fungal organisms encounter multiple layers of resistance. Stable blood sugar, supportive immune function, gentle circulation, proper hydration, and restful recovery. Healing becomes self-sustaining, and the body gradually learns to maintain antifungal conditions autonomously. The body continues to heal. Fungus natural remedies restore inner balance and will keep floating, moving together through the body. This is the state of true integration, where antifungal maintenance, regeneration, and optimal function coexist effortlessly, allowing the body to thrive indefinitely in harmony with its natural design.